Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask Dubey. Season is underway. Big shout out from Stu Skinner last night and a big win for the Oilers. This presentation is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION. Bet365 must be 19 or older. All right, guys, we're going to get right into the questions here from Hockey Fan. Other than the play of Stuart Skinner, what is the most important for the Oilers to succeed this year? Good question. I think a couple things. Stu Skinner is going to be a big part of that, but the play of the young guys coming in, obviously Savoy and Howard, if those guys are able to come in and be big contributors and be a big part of this team, when you have a team that's working around cap space and trying to build and stay under the cap, getting those guys and those entry level deals to contribute and be a big part of the lineup is a huge part of success that way. It just gives you so much more flexibility around that when you got guys chipping in for under $1 million. That's going to be one part of it. Kind of included in that is that depth scoring. We saw some big performances in the playoffs that way, and a lot of games were won kind of with some unsung heroes. Connor and Leon, Nuge, Boosh, those guys were kind of all doing their thing every game. But when they weren't scoring, they were just getting huge timely goals from anybody with Kapanen. Pick one. The goals were coming at big moments, game-winning goals from not always your same guys. And I think that's going to be really important for the Oilers to get consistency this year, is continue growing that team depth scoring, depth contribution. And then that also works back to the defense. I think, Connor McDavid in the middle of the playoffs at one point got pissed off with a reporter, I think, because he was asking about team defense again or complimenting their team defense. And he said, we've been good defensively. We are good defensively. And if you watch the playoffs last year, give or take maybe the first couple games, they were good defensively. They were really good defensively, and they worked hard defensively. So that's going to be really important as well this year, and it's been a great start that way. Obviously, a shutout win last night in New York, and there's your defense right there, and some good play from Stuart Skinner. So those are kind of three keys for the Oilers to be successful this year. Next question from Lance Does Stuff Kane, our friend Lance Kane. Hashtag Ask Dubey, with all these players signing for big money, what was some good financial advice you were given in your career? Do you get any kind of training on how to handle suddenly being a millionaire, just in case I win the lottery? This is a great question, and you don't really get training. I think it's an important thing, whoever your agent is and the agency you use, to steer you in the right direction with a good financial advisor, and not just the financial advisor part, but the education on it and understanding. Really, it's about, you sign a contract and you have a dollar amount on a piece of paper. But with taxes and escrow's gone now, but it was a thing when I was playing, I think it's important to truly understand like the amount of money that you're actually taking home. And just because if it says $1 million or whatever that number is on your contract, you're not actually taking that home. And so really understanding what the dollar amount is that you take home after taxes and after all that fun stuff. And then understanding, life's expensive, and understanding what it costs to have a home, what it costs to have a car, what daily living costs, all these things as you start to have kids, all of these things that become expenses in your life and things that cost money and bills, is just being able to understand that side of it and truly how much everything costs, so you don't build everything up and start spending way more money than you think you have, or think that you have more money than you want to spend, and spending it all instead of saving it. And that's on the other side of it then is finding a good financial person who is going to save, for hockey players, for athletes. All of the money's coming in at once, so it's usually pretty conservative investment strategy. But that's up to the individual, obviously, to speak with their financial person. But I think getting that money invested, but I think the most important thing, like I mentioned before, really is understanding what your true dollar amount is. Now, we're not talking about the 100 million plus guys. They've obviously got quite a bit of leeway, but You know, the guys that are making 1 and 2 million, again, it sounds like a big number, but it's really understanding what that is. You buy a house, you buy a car. How much can you truly spend and how can you truly live? And you want to get into a routine of how you live so that when you are done playing, you're not going from spending all this money way up here to trying to figure out how to live with a smaller paycheck. So lots of things to figure out, and it's up to the agents and financial advisors to help these guys out. Next question here from Vinny Chase. Are NHL goalies genuinely too tired to play back-to-backs, or is it just more of a coach giving the goalie a rest? It's a good question. I think it varies from goalie to goalie. Nowadays, it's more the backups are playing more, the 1Bs are playing more, so it's just an obvious opportunity that you're going to play both guys. I think in the past, it was really kind of a statistical thing that the numbers kind of showed that guys just don't do well on the back-to-backs. And you could argue for whatever reason, everybody's tired on a back-to-back. The players are tired. Your body's tired. Your brain's tired. But I think when it maybe just comes to it from a goalie is players can go out and they can battle through being tired. You may not have a great game. You can make a couple mistakes and get away from it or be a little step behind. And you know, maybe your performance isn't great, but you're not necessarily going to cost the team a game. Whereas a goalie, if you're off a little bit, if you're foggy, if you're not sharp, that can cost you a win or a loss. And the way the league is now or has been, you just sometimes can't afford that. And coaches, one, aren't really willing to risk it, but it's also an opportunity, especially if the schedule is lighter, to get your other goalie a game, and you do have to find those games for the other goalie. They shouldn't always be on back-to-backs, or it shouldn't necessarily be always the second game of a back-to-back, because when you are starting another goalie, you want to be able to put them in situations to succeed as well. But I think it's just that fine line of mental error or physical error when you are a goalie. You are tired. You play a game, you travel. By the time you get to bed, it's probably 3:30 in the morning where you are, and you know, it's part of the game. Everybody does it, but that sharpness as a goalie is necessary. The year I got traded to Minnesota, I played 7 back-to-backs in a row, and I had pretty good success with them. So I didn't mind playing back-to-backs. I never really thought of it. I played plenty as well in the following years, but you know, that could be part of my game too. That my game was pretty conservative, pretty positional. So I was maybe had a little more leeway with pucks hitting me if I wasn't as sharp, but I never minded it. But in saying that, it still was very difficult energy-wise to play back-to-back games. Next question here from Rackramar 79. Hey Devan, what's the best advice you could give to a young U11 goalie? That's a good question. I have a couple young goalies myself in this house, so couple things is one, keep it simple when you're on the ice. Work on very basic things, your stance, your pushes, how we push and stop. Keep the drills very simple and just work every single day on your fundamentals and your basics, your T-pushes, your shuffles, proper butterflies, movement out of it, good head tracking, all of these things that even at a 10-year-old age, it's just very simple stuff that you can really build a foundation into the player going forward. So if you have those fundamentals and that foundation, then you can learn the game reads and the athleticism and all that stuff as you get older. So really build a good, solid, fundamental foundation and then have fun. One thing I see with hockey more and more nowadays is just it's a little too serious for my liking. And it's okay to take the game seriously and want to win and all that stuff, but you got to find the time in between to have fun. Keep the love in the game. Love being a goalie. Love stopping pucks. Play street hockey. Play other sports. Just keep the love in it and make sure that when you are on the ice, you're excited to be out there, you're excited to work, and you're loving what you do. And don't turn it into a job too early, because I was fortunate to have it as a job, and right at the end of my career, it kind of turned into a little bit of a job for me, and I lost the fun a little bit. And you know, I was getting a paycheck at least, so that was a better part of it. But most important thing, and always when I was playing my best too, is make sure you're having fun. It'll help you work hard. It'll help you focus and keep that love for the game. All right, guys, that's it for another episode of Ask Dubey. As always, thanks for your questions. Keep them coming in. Hashtag Ask Dubey on any social media platform, or drop your question in the comment section below here. Like I said, keep them coming. I'm happy we're back on weekly shows here now that the season started, so I need lots of questions coming in, so keep them coming. This segment was brought to you by our friends at Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn the Wilhauk name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef, Wilhauk Beef Jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. It is so good. Wilhauk Beef Jerky gladly fills orders of any size. Find their beef jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location, or you can order online. Get your jerky on. For more info, go to wilhaukbeefjerky.com.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.